They look at Kaspa. We're going to take a look at these price charts here, see what's going on with the market, see where it could be headed. First off, Bitcoin. I was looking for a target around 105. This thing ended up coming down. What did it come down to? About 103. All right, so off a little bit on that. I was going for this ABC measurement here. All right, if you take the top of the fib, bring it over. Have a 618702 hit right up through here. See the 702 right there. Pull it down on top. Yeah, right about there was the 702. Right about 105.1. Right now 105 area. I mean, the lowest I could have seen on that was about 104.8. Right, so we had the extended C leg is what happened. It was still an ABC. Right, and AB, but you had an extended C leg on this. That's why the measurements don't work out every single time. A lot of times they do, but once in a while you'll get that extended one. Market's not going to make it that easy for you for an entry, but it does work a lot of the time. All right, so it did pull down to here with this ABC correction. It's trying to push back up here. You can see this is a 4-hour chart right here at about 105.9. It's hitting some resistance right now. Let's get this off here. This 105.1. Move this off here. All right. That way we can get a better look at this thing. Now, if we zoom out, there's a possibility, it comes lower, no doubt. All right. You can see here. Let's go on weekly here. Make it zoom out a little bit further. All right. Get that ABC off there. Pull that down. There we go. Alright, also get that off there. That cleaned up a little bit. Now this last push up right here, alright, if you go off a fib, very possible, 97, 93, that's still definitely in play, alright, till we take out this 112, which was the prior high right over here to the left. Alright, if we take a look at the RSIs, you got the weekly right at the top, actually bearish, 88 and 94. Alright, you got bearish divergence over here. You have this high on the RSI, then you have a lower high. And if you go with price, you have this high and a higher high. Alright, the monthly is bullish. Monthly looks good. Okay, if we come back on a daily, the daily looks good. So you could have a low in here for sure. But it doesn't look like much of a correction when you zoom out here, does it? Let's get the RSIs off here. I mean, for this big of a push, you would expect more than this, right? You'd be, normally looking, right down this area here, anywhere down through here, would be normal. A 382 down to a 618. So that's why what I'm saying here, don't count on this being the bottom until this 112 is taken out. Now if we take a look at Bitcoin dominance, while we're here, we'll just knock it out. Alright, it's at a 64.25. Alright, let's get this here and see what's happening here. And even though Bitcoin might pull back further, if the Bitcoin dominance starts crashing, you're going to see the alts start running. Right? I mean, they're going to break away, decouple from Bitcoin, and do their own thing instead of following Bitcoin the whole time. Of course, there's always that possibility that Bitcoin ends up pulling back, and the alts pull with it. We need this dominance to start crashing. Let's get this off here now. Now, this thing came up. It wicked up out of our box area here. Let's pull this over a little bit. There we go. That way we have a better idea here. Now if we put a Fibonacci on this and take a look and see where we're at. Where's a fib level? I hate this thing. Get that out of my way. Pull it down. There you go. Actually hit a 786. Got rejected off that area. Now it's showing a pullback coming. This is on a daily chart. Alright, it's the daily RSI. 87 and 84, and down at the bottom it has split bearish down here. It's at a 50, or no, I'm sorry, it's still at a 54 and a 53. Just still bullish, but definitely showing weakness, right? You're starting to get that rollover. The weekly, 44 and a 43, and on the bottom it's split to bearish, a 64 and a 65. All right, so we have it's flipping bearish on the weekly, the monthly, 96 and a 94, and on the bottom a 70 and a 65. Very, very close to possibly rolling over, right? I mean, it definitely stretched out. Quite honestly, I don't think it's going any higher than that. I think it's pretty much done. The 12-hour RSI is bearish and 80 and a 91, rolling over. The 8-hour rolling over. That's good to see right there. That's a hard roll. 65 and an 83. That's going to pick up some steam for sure. That's a hard rollover right there. That's ones you like to see, especially for Bitcoin dominance. Want to see this thing come down and just plummet through here. The 4-hour bearish, 3 and a 19. Okay, so it's still bearish there on the 4-hour. These bigger ones are the ones that matter, like your daily. This is real close to 54 and a 53, so close to rolling over, and an 88 and an 84 on the stochastic. Yeah, it's about had it, guys. No question about it. This thing is about ready to go. It's just a matter of picking up steam and getting this thing to really take off here. Once it takes out this low down here, it's 61.9. And then the big one. Let's go out here a little bit and zoom out, get this RSI off there. You can see that parabolic run for the blow off top. Just like any coin or token would have. You'd have your parabolic run. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you have your massive, your rollover. Okay, that's especially at the end of a run, at the end of a bull run, an old season, whatever. I mean, look at this red candle. Then your retracement back up, retest as resistance, and then your rollover here. At weekly, let's see here what we got. Yeah, as soon as it loses, that level is just barely holding right where it's at. Make that a 1. That's right at 64.28. I think that's right where it's at. Yeah, it's right at it right now. Starts losing that. That's a pretty good weekly support area, and get this thing starting to roll over, like I said. But we zoom out, the bigger picture is this one here, this big yellow support line. That's the one. This thing has a long ways to go. I mean, if it falls down, you know what I'm saying, it is only, when it did this one little dip up here, that's when the alts were really started ripping, right? I mean, we had a pretty decent run. That was only 4% of a fall, potentially here. Even if this thing pulls down, down to this white line, I'm looking for this down here, down to the high 20s. But even if it just pulls down there, that is, you're looking at 44%, right? So that's just a little tiny one. Starting to see Bitcoin dominance definitely taking its last breaths here. Let's go over and take a look here at the crypto bubbles. All right, this is the last hour. Let me put it on and there's Kaspa up 9% for the last hour. For the day, pretty decent day out there, right? And Bitcoin is, where was Bitcoin today? What is it? It was down $800, I think. I don't know, it's in the 4-hour. Let's see here. 105,826. Oh yeah, had a decent run up here in the last 4 hours. It was down at 104.5. Now it's at 105.8. Yeah, it was down 800 bucks. You know, trying to take out that 4 hour resistance there, that 105, what, 105.9. Yeah, then you got the 50-week moving average running into it also. So definitely want to see Bitcoin break above that 50-day moving average. You know, where's that at? 105, 106,000. It's starting to push up a little bit more now as we're looking at 105, 808, 811. Starting to push here. Like to see it get above there. It could get rejected. You know, you could end up having one of these. You know, could end up rolling one, two. You know, having another. You know, push down. Could be a lot. Could be more than that though. Like I said, zoom out here. That's not much of a correction at all for that big of a move. Right? Look at this thing. We had this big push up. You know, pretty small correction. It could take off. Like if 112 needs to be taken out. Alright, let's go back over here to these crypto bubbles and take a look here for the day. Alright, Kaspa, where you at? I can never find it on here. There it is. 0.9% for the day, for the week. And a little bit red out there. What is this? White. Rank number 68, $1.18 billion market cap. Wow, 9.95 million in volume in the last 24 hours. That's not very much. And it's up 166%. That's pretty crazy. Oh, well, this thing is the 0.0011. Yeah. But it still is $1 billion market cap. Pretty crazy. Rank number 68, White Rock. Never heard of it. SPX 6900, another one. I never heard of it. Yeah, rank number 60 to 76. I'm gonna have to look into some of these other coins. 56 million. Let's see where Kaspa is at with volume. This is for the week. 59.11 million, $2.35 billion market cap, and rank number 39. Price right now 0.08965. All right, and yeah, so this is for the week. A little bit red for the month. Still pretty green. We're looking for that dominance to roll over, you know, and it's making people in the market right now, you know, kind of jumpy for sure. You know, let's look at the crypto. Fear and Greed Index real quick. I'm just curious. Let's see where it's at. I haven't looked at it for a while. Do Fear and Greed Index. Let's see where it's at here. I bet it's not, it's got to be, the Fear and Greed Index. Here it is. Let's take a look. It's got to be in fear, you would think. Maybe. It's at 57 neutral right now. This is from CoinMarketCap. Yesterday neutral. Last week it was in greed at 69. Last month 55. Yearly high was November 20th. Yearly low was March 10th. Extreme fear on March 10th. Okay, so it's October, March 10th must be, yeah, March 10th was right. What about mark the bottom here too? I went to extreme. There's March 11th, and Bitcoin was right around in here, and that didn't mark the low. And when we marked the low, we were in at a 29, right? Jeez, April 9th, it was 25. Wow, unbelievable. Yeah, so right now it's at a 57, it's neutral. That kind of shocks me. But anyway, then we come over here, we got an article, Suey and Kaspa fight Resistance could $4 per SUI and 20 cents for Kaspa be the next target. We've talked about that 20 cents. Remember me showing it to you before. We'll go down to there. During the last month, Kaspa decreased nearly 9%, with the weekly drop exceeding 23%. Over the past 6 months, Kaspa lost more than half its value, down by 51, almost 52%. Price fluctuations occurred between approximately 0.0585 and 11.49, reflecting a clear downward trend. Selling pressure has been predominant, with consistent declines across various time frames. The data indicates sustained bearish sentiment throughout the period, revealing the struggles for upward momentum in the market. Current market conditions show Kaspa trading between key levels with resistance near 14 cents and a secondary level around 19 cents. The support is at approximately 0.0274. Technical indicators illustrate weak upward pressure, with the awesome oscillator at negative 0.00772 and the momentum indicator at 0.0309. The RSI, the relative strength index, sits at around 32.86, suggesting oversold conditions that may attract buyers. All right, so the RSI is oversold. However, overall market signals remain bearish. Observing the dynamics between support and resistance may present short-term trading opportunities, though caution and tight stop-loss orders are advisable to manage risks effectively. All right, so it says here, SUI and Kaspa have shown resilience in battling resistance levels. If their momentum continues, SUI could target $4, while Kaspa could aim for 20 cents. Both have been demonstrating promising potential, indicating a solid performance in the near term. Consistent monitoring of market trends will be crucial to gauge their next movements and potential price milestones. See, that just kind of contradicted what they set up here, isn't it? Right here, both have been demonstrating promising potential, indicating a solid performance in the near term. And up here it says right up here, overall market signals remain bearish. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so they're talking about 20 cents there. And if we come over here and take a look at this chart, all right, Kaspa, I ended up missing the bottom on this. Let's see here, I ended at right around 9 cents. Okay, ended up pulling down here to 8. All right, so I missed it by a penny. Which is a lot when you're dealing with an 9 cent token, right? I mean, I missed it by how much? 13%. So I apologize about that. And I measured out this ABC in here, and what I should have done was measured the wedge out. Let's see. If I pull that down here. I was measuring this out right here, A, B, C, like so. Yeah, right there. And if I would have took a measurement of the wedge, probably would have been a lot closer. Let's see. Maybe not. Take a measurement of the wedge. This probably exceeded it, or it goes deeper. Maybe. Oh yeah. It definitely goes deeper. What I want to show you here is if we come out on a, let's see, 12 hour. Alright, let's get that out of here. Alright, so that wasn't correct either. The width of the wedge, it wasn't either. But anyway, I ended up messing that a little bit. Pulled down here, like I said, to right about 8 cents. So let's get that off there. And I nailed a lot of the other ones. We won 6 out of 7 trades in Discord. With this pullback, we nailed a bunch of them. like a 6 out of 7. You know, technically it was really 6 out of 6, but the 7th one there, I forget what the thing was with it, but had a nice run. If you want to join up with our Discord, sign up for level 3 membership in the description of the video. It's $15. You get 10 hours of videos with that. Over 20 videos teach how to start drawing trend lines, all the charting stuff that I go over with you. And you also get a link to the Discord in there. So if that interests you, try it out. We have 174 members, I believe it is. Yeah, come on over. We've got a lot of great traders in there. I think you get along with everybody. Everybody in there is super easy to get along with. Got a lot of great people in there. All right, now if we take a measurement off this bottom with that run we just had, look where it puts us. We're in the 618 area. Okay, looks like a pretty good area to bounce, right? I can't see it pulling any deeper than that, you know, right down through here. Now if we look at the RSI, 12-hour heading up, oversold. The daily, yeah, same thing, oversold, heading to the upside. The weekly actually on the bottom down here, it's bearish or bullish, 46 and a 43, and your stochastics at a 68 and a 79. It's trying to flip up, and look at this monthly, you know, a 12 and an 8. Just got a monthly on this, really, but look at that. I mean, where else could you want that? That's absolutely perfect. You know, if you take, we've looked at this before, you know, potential of this thing heading up there, right? I mean, especially on a monthly, you know, we get that Bitcoin dominance crashing, you know, possible 30 cents up there. Now, let's take a look at the shorter time frame. Let's zoom in here. Where we're at now and see what could be going on, right? Got that. It just broke a major level here, actually, coming up through here. All right, so we want to hold this low at right about 8 cents. Okay, definitely want to hold that. And it looks like we just broke, or breaking through 8.8. Is that 8.8? Yeah, right at 8.8 there. All right, you can see the wicks up through there. But it looks like this thing is making a run here. It looks like basically the same thing what happened over there with Bitcoin. You know, AB extends the C leg right down here like that. That's exactly what that looks like. Now as far as targets go, let's go on a daily. Or let's take a look at these lower RSIs. 8 hour getting near the top. 4 hour. 4 hours still heading up. Alright, we do have a trend line here too for this thing. You know, if you draw trend lines on your charts, which I definitely do, you know, got a trend line starting right and extend them out. You know, you want to keep if it goes up and comes back, you want to see it hold that trend line, right? We have a resistance level way up here coming through. Let's draw this out. Yeah, maybe it starts a wedge type deal here. Right? Of course, we got this. This was former support. You know, looks probably come up here and have a little bit of trouble with that, but more than likely, probably going to meet up in there. So I would imagine somewhere, right? Come up through here, work its way up through, and right up in this area. You know, maybe we can get that big break up through there. Definitely want to see that. But in the shorter term, let's see, 4 hour. Could have had a. Let's see if we got any other resistance areas down through here. I wouldn't worry about that one. Let's put a Fibonacci on here and see where the retracement levels are. All right. Could go up there. Let's go up this high here first. Yeah, there's a ways to go up, right? Look where that 618 and 702 come in. Right up there, right where we talked about. You know, so I would be definitely looking. This thing is, you know, if it's done to the downside here, you don't want to see this 8 cents break, right? You know, it should have a pretty decent run back up. I mean, even overall, this whole, well, you got all the RSIs bullish. You know, if it runs, you know, you got 11.2 and 11.6 just as a normal retracement. And from where we're at, that is 25 and a 30% run up. All right, so definitely keep your eye on Kaspa. Looks good. I think Bitcoin could pull back. You know, it's, oh boy, this looks like a really light correction here, don't it? I mean, that's not much of a correction here. Then on the bigger picture, you have, you know, this thing is up through that area. Let's put a fib on here. Kind of odd for it to pull back into, I don't, it very well could. Yeah, you got your bigger outlook here at 130. You know, but you on a weekly here, what all green candles. That's you know, last week was the first red candle on a weekly we have had since March 31st. Yeah, so all of April was March 31st. Yeah, all of April, all of May. Was bullish. Green candles. Unbelievable. That's a pretty decent run. You don't see that too often. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 green candles in a row. That's pretty crazy. It's a pretty decent run. They're not little candles like over here. This little run. Pretty decent sized pushes here. Alright, so don't be shocked if you get this pullback down here with Bitcoin. Alright, you know, very possible. That's 16.5% potentially. You know, you could, right? I mean, that is very, very possible. That would put you, you know, it's a normal pullback. You'd expect at least a 382 down here, 97.8. I mean, you know, it could take off from here. Like I said, keep an eye on 112. It takes out 112. You know, it's more than likely done correcting and heading higher. All right, maybe it's going to do that. Not because I can't see Kaspa pulling, you know, any lower really. The 702 maybe, but that ain't far away. Came down and hit 618 already, and all the RSIs are heading to the upside. I want to see some volume coming in. You know, hit that. Well, maybe it did. It already came close to 702. Wait, we got to pull this down a little bit more. Right down to there. Yeah, right between it. 618, 702. You know, so the Bitcoin, yeah, I don't know. I think Bitcoin may be done. Maybe it's heading back up to the upside, or Bitcoin dominance is going to start crashing, and the altcoins are going to start running. You know, even though Bitcoin might pull back, you know, you might get something like that too. All right, but you want to see this 8 cents hold and see this start working its way back up. All the RSIs look good. Let's go. Let's get this thing going. All right, thank you so much, guys. Have a great day. Please hit that like and subscribe. Talk to you soon.